some of the associates of Lord Chaitanya, we don't even know their names. And some of them, only the name is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. There's a long list of names of the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu given in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. About many of the devotees, only the name is given or just a little bit of information. Others, there's a little more. And about some of the devotees, there's so much that it's in these summarized sketches of their pastimes. So today we'll speak about Sri Advaita Acarya Prabhu, who is a devotee and the Supreme Lord also, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. Ek Mahaprabhu or Prabhu Duijan, Dui Prabhu Sheve Mahaprabhu Charan. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that there is one Mahaprabhu and two Prabhus. The two Prabhus are Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Acharya Prabhu. These three are all Vishnu Tattva. Advaita Acharya is the incarnation of Mahavishnu. And he's also identified with Sadashiv. That means he is also Shiva Tattva. This is a little... Shiva Tattva is quite complex and mysterious. But Sadashiv is actually Vishnu form. Gaur Ganodesh Deepika describes that Sadashiv in Vrindavan, in the pastimes of Krishna, he took the form of a cowherd boy and danced close to Krishna. In the beginning of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has elaborated on the philosophical understanding of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and of the personalities of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and Advaita Prabhu. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that Advaita Acharya is Mahavishnu, who creates the material world through the action of Maya. He is called Advaita, which means non-different, because he is non-different from Lord Hari, his Supreme Personality of Godhead. And because he preaches devotional service to Sri Krishna, therefore he is known as Acharya. He is both the Supreme Lord and he is also known as Bhakta Avatar, which means he has come from the spiritual world as taking the mood of a devotee. Advaita Acharya was one of the personalities who appeared before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looked up to with respect. Advaita Acharya was also known as Mangala, which means auspicious, and because his eyes appear like lotus flowers, he is also known as Kamalaksha, which means lotus-eyed. And Vrindavandas Thakur in Chaitanya Bhagavat says that Advaita Acharya is the chief among all the gurus by his knowledge, devotion and renunciation. And he teaches Krishna Bhakti in a similar manner to that which Lord Shiva does. Advaita Acharya appeared in the village known as Navagram, in the area known as Laur, Navagram, which is presently in the district of Shilet. Actually, they divided it, but it's historically in the area of Srihatta, which is now in Bangladesh. His father's name was Kuver Pandit, who was a minister of the king of Laur. And he was Kuber Pandit was a great devotee of Nrsimhadev, and Advaita Prabhu's mother's name was Nabhadevi. When he was born, all the local people were surprised because he was an old man, and Kuber Pandit was an old man. But when they saw the child looked so beautiful and effulgent, the local people were astonished. And the incognito, or unseen, the demigods showered flowers. Advaita Prabhu, when he was a little older, he moved to Sriharta, and from there to Shantipur, which is a long way from Sriharta. Shantipur is on the bank of the Ganga. He also kept a house in Navadip. He appeared in this world in 1434 AD, which means he was already over 50 by the time that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. And he remained in this world for 125 years. So when his father and mother passed away, Advaita Acharya went to Gaya for offering pinda and performing the standard rituals. But having gone there, he didn't come back. He continued on a long pilgrimage all over India, which even today, that's quite an undertaking to go by train and everything. But those days they were going by foot. When he arrived in Vrindavan, he became absorbed in the intense mood of bhakti for Krishna. And it became apparent to him that Krishna was about to appear again in Navadvip Dham. So when he came back from Vrindavan to Shantipur, he went via Navadvip and stayed some days there. And the people of Shantipur were very happy to receive him because they were feeling great separation from him. Advaita's two wives were named Sita and Shri. Although we don't hear there's not much mentioned about Shri Devi, only Sita is mentioned more in the old books. Gaur Ganodash Deepika says that Yoga Maya became Sita Devi, and Shri is the Prakash expansion of Yoga Maya.
And the Prakash?
Expansion of Sita.
Yoga Maya.
Yeah. In the period prior to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, there were a few Vaishnavas in Navadvip and other places, in other places in Bengal, mostly in Navadvip. And they were very sorry to see the condition of the world, that people were not interested in Krishna Bhakti. And Advaita Acharya, who was the leader of the Vaishnavas in Navadvip, he especially was very distraught at the condition of the world's people. So out of compassion, he began to teach Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, explaining that the essence of all scriptural advice is to worship Lord Krishna in pure devotional service. During this period, Madhavendra Puri arrived in Navadvip on his way to Puri on the order of the Gopal deity, which is related in another episode. No, maybe not Navadvip, at least I don't know about Navadvip, but he came to Advaita's house in Shantipur. Advaita Acharya, seeing the tremendous devotion of Madhavendra Puri, accepted Diksha mantras from him. So, in the description of the allegorical Chaitanya tree, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is the main trunk, Madhavendra Puri was the first seed of this tree. Ishvara Puri was the sprouted, he was the sprout that developed into the tree. And Advaita and Nityananda were the two trunks which expanded from the main trunks which expanded from the main trunk. So Advaita Acharya, even though he is the Supreme Lord himself, he thought that unless Krishna himself appears in the world, the people cannot be properly benefited. There are many avatars, but Krishna is the source of all avatars. And Advaita Acharya thought that let me make Krishna himself appear to save the fallen people. He thought that I myself am not capable of helping these fallen people. So he made a sankalp, what's the word? A resolution, to bring Krishna to this world. So he began to worship Shalagram with Ganga water and Tulsi leaves, calling out loudly and pleading to Lord Krishna to please come to this world. And it is said therefore that the chief reason for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearing was the implications of Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu. His calling out loud went right up, spread through the universe, went through the coverings of the universe, went through the Karnadak, the causal ocean, through the Brahma Jyoti, through the Vaikuntha level, right up to Golok, and Krishna heard and came. So Krishna came. Before he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu had taken birth in another part of Bengal. And when Chaitanya, on getting the news that Shakti Devi had given birth to a son, the wife of Advaita Acharya, Sita Thakurani, went to see him. At that time, Advaita Acharya was residing in Shantipur, and a few days after the Nimai's birth, the Sita Devi went to see him, bringing all kinds of gifts and presentations. So, when she saw the baby Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, she thought that he was non-different. He looked exactly like Krishna, except he was golden. And she gave him, it was she who gave him the famous name Nimai, blessing him with a long duration of life. She gave him the name Nimai because he was born under a neem tree. Who has been to Mayapur? And that neem tree, which is the replica of the original one. So also because the neem tree, it said that no ghosts will go there, because so many of Shachi Mata's children before had died previously. Sometime after this, Advaita Acharya established a toll, which is a school for teaching Sanskrit. He established that in Mayapur. Every day, Nimai's elder brother, Vishwarup, would go to Advaita Acharya's house and listen to him giving discourses. Sometimes when Advaita was performing puja, Vishwarup would explain to the people there that Krishna Bhakti is the ultimate goal of all the scriptures. When Advaita heard this, he interrupted his puja to get up and embrace Vishwarup. The Shachi Mata, at noontime, Shachi Mata would send the little toddler Nimai to the close by house of Advaita Acharya with some tiffin for Vishwarup. And seeing the beauty of Nimai, Advaita Acharya became astonished. But due to the Yogamaya potency, who was his wife, he couldn't recognize that this is the Lord who I had called for. In the meantime, Vishwarup came to know that his parents were making plans for his marriage. So to avert this, he ran away from home and took sannyas. On hearing this, Sachi and Jagannath and everyone were very upset. But Advaita, as the senior member of the community, pacified everyone by saying that Krishna himself is going to appear soon, to soothe everyone's distress. Let's go on. So many things happened, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got married, and his father died, and he went to Gaya he got initiated there. Actually, his father died, and then he was married, and then he went to Gaya. And when he came back, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was completely in the mood of a devotee. So Advaita Prabhu and the others were most happy to see this. Shortly after that, Nityananda Prabhu arrived in Navadvip. And one day after Nityananda had arrived, Nimai said that he wanted to perform Vyasa Puja to Nityananda. And on the day previous to that Vyasa Puja, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed that Nityananda was Balaram, and that Advaita Acharya had caused Nimai to appear in this world. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I was sleeping on the milk ocean, but Nara, which was a name that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used for Advaita, he called so loudly that he woke me up and called me down here. This time Advaita was in Shantipur. And after the Vyasa Puja, Nimai said that he should be called he called me to this world, so now he and his wife should come to see me and come and worship me. So when this news was sent to Advaita, so he very happily brought all the paraphernalia for worshipping. But he wanted to just test. So he didn't go to Srivasa's house where the Vyasa Puja had been held.
He didn't? No.
He did not go to Srivasa's house where the Vyasa, but instead he hid in Nandana Acharya's house, which is about a little more than a kilometer from there. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knew he was there and sent for him, and in great happiness Advaita came to worship Lord Gauranga. He washed Mahaprabhu's lotus feet and worshipped him with Panchopachara, 5 ingredients, reciting the prayer, Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagatitaya Krishna Govindaya Namo. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then told Advaita Prabhu to dance. Advaita Prabhu was famous for his wild dancing. Even though apparently he was very old, of course he's not old, but he exhibited the great bliss of dancing like a madman in love of God, which very much delighted and enthused the other devotees. Now Advaita was from a very respectable Brahmana family from the external point of view. And he was residing in Shantipur, which was a hub of the Brahmanas. So he had to one time it was time to perform the Shraddh, and one has to feed the Brahmanas after doing so. Now, at that time, Haridas Thakur was staying close to Shantipur. Haridas Thakur was known as being born in a Muslim family, but by his behavior it was clear that he was a highly advanced devotee. So on the occasion of the Shraddh ceremony, Advaita Acarya called Haridas Thakur to feed him, ignoring all the high-class Brahmins of Shantipur. So Haridas said, "How can you do this? You'll be blamed." But Advaita, who is known as Acarya, one who teaches by example, said that what I'm doing is completely approved by scripture. Now what happened, Advaita, time to time he would call Haridas to his home in Shantipur to take prasad. And then Haridas asked, "How can you do this?" And Advaita said, "No, this is in accordance with scripture." And then he made him the recipient of the plate that was offered for Shraddh. And Advaita Acharya said that if you eat, it is the same as 10 million Brahmanas eating. Advaita Acharya had 6 sons, of whom 3 were great devotees and 3 were rejected as non-devotees because they did not properly regard Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now there's one pastime where Advaita Acharya was feeling very unhappy because he couldn't understand the meaning of one verse in Gita, and therefore he was fasting. So in the night, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared to him in a dream and explained the purport of that verse and told him, "Now you get up and you stop your fasting." Find which one that is. I think it's Ananyas Chanti, but I'm not sure. I'll check that out. Now, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so much junior to Advaita Acharya Prabhu in terms of age, and because Advaita Acharya was the godbrother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's guru, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to treat Advaita Acharya with great respect. But Advaita Acharya didn't like this. He wanted to treat Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with respect. So he thought, how can I stop Chaitanya Mahaprabhu respecting me? So he thought, what's the thing that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dislikes most? And considering this, Advaita Acharya started to preach impersonalism. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard about this, he very angrily set out from Navadvip and came to Shantipur. And when he arrived at the house of Advaita Acharya, he started beating him severely. And Advaita Acharya was very happy. He said, "Now you've shown me your real mercy. That where is all your respect for me now? Now my desires have been fulfilled. So now I can understand that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he actually he has great affection for me, treating me like his servant, which I am, so trying to save me from the rascaldom of Mayavad." When Nimai understood that this has all been a trick on the part of Advaita, he became somewhat embarrassed, but also very pleased with Advaita. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.